Linda from American Patchwork and Quilting, and I'm here with Marie and Vicki from Handi Quilter, and we're going to talk a little bit about being quilters and what we tend to do, which is sometimes over quilt a quilt or
quilt it to death.
Quilt it to death, and then when, however, it's smarter to back off or do a little less quilting or more minimalist quilting.
That's right. So Marie, these are Marie's original designs.
Fun.
Yeah, she never buys quilt patterns, she creates them. This quilt here is the same as the quilt on the wall.
So the same block.
Same block, different quilting. So sometimes you really want your fabric to give you hints on how to quilt it, which is the one in the back. If you have a stripe, don't fight it,
Okay.
You're just going to go ahead and go along with it. But sometimes there's a texture or a design in the fabric as well that you can get a hint from of how to quilt it. That one, I was a little more careful, not showing where my stitches were going, kind of blended the thread. Whereas on this one, the quilting is the main show.
That's right. There's no hint of cues of how am I going to quilt this.
Right.
You just had to make it up as you went.
So you got to make it up.
Oh, you got
Because it's
to.
solid fabric. And the thing I noticed first off is these circles on the wings. So how did you get such great circles on those wings?
So this is the mini circle ruler.
It's our favorite this week.
It's my favorite, always my favorite. And it's really easy that you just put it on and choose your circle around it, and then a halfway again. So you've repeated that half, and then just slide the ruler and you get the next half.
So it makes it continuous.
Yeah,
just
so
Just keep going around in circles.
Yeah, so it looks like a little more perfect than the rest of it looks. Because
I think it all looks perfect.
Yes.
Even because that
yeah.
free motion,
Yeah.
It's your style.
Yeah, so rulers get you there.
That's
keep you
great.
honest. How's
The
that?
thing that she's also done with this quilt is she's added straight line to it. It's not all just swirls and circles, but she's added straight lines using a straight line ruler. She's added pebbling, and that was not using a circle ruler, but just free motion quilting. Squiggles, and what she's done here, I love. She's left, we say quilt to death, but she's left some blank space here, so this gives this more definition, real depth to it.
With a quilt with this much quilting and definition, being that it's a smaller quilt, you designed it then, the quilting, for a wall quilt, so it could really show off, right?
Right.
Oh, you're not going to let your baby just curl up in this with all this quilting?
So if it was a baby quilt or a child's quilt, would you have quilted it differently?
Probably more like the one on the wall.
Okay.
A little looser, not so dense on the quilting, not so precise. You give it a little more so that it's more cuddly, I guess.
And then put some nice soft fabric
So when
on the
you
back.
quilt this, you're making a time commitment to the density. That the density has to be the same in the outside, the inside. Where if you're doing a great big quilt for
For a bed.
or something, you're not going to go quite that dense.
Unless you want to practice.
Right.
If you just want to practice and say, the fabric is so busy that I want to just get that practice in and maybe not, I'm going to make some mistakes. I'm not going to tell you about those mistakes because you're not going to be able to see them either because the fabric is such a busy fabric. Busy back too.
Yeah.
So if I've got a more printed fabric and a more printed backing, I can maybe experiment with some new quilting designs and try some different stitches because that's going to be a little more forgiving because the print's going to hide some mistakes.
And if you don't like it, then just give it away.
All right, and you said you changed the thread colors on, now this one we quilted all in white, but on the other one you changed the thread colors because you had lights, mediums, and darks in that quilt and you didn't want the quilting to
and
stand
in
out?
that gray, I did not want to stitch with white, so changed to gray thread.
But you're such a
and
good
it
quilter. Were you afraid of that?
I don't want it to scream either. I don't want it to be the main attention. I want it to be the attraction, to be the plain, right?
Perfect.
So,
And with hanging this on the wall, that vertical, you're seeing it with the light to it. You're going to see so much of the quilting here.
Texture, yep.
yeah.
Rather than laying this on a bed, you're going to see texture, but you're not going to see, any mistakes or anything that.
Oh, no mistakes.
You never do.
No.
Well, I love that we used the same block and yet showed the two very different ways to quilt it. I think that's going to really be inspiring for those folks who look at it and say, I'm not quite ready for this, but that seems more achievable for me.
And it's a simple block, isn't it, Marie?
Yeah, it is.
Terrific.
Just a plain.
Thank you so much for sharing all your great tips on how to quilt these two very different quilts.